It did it. Yes.
Right, okay. Right, everybody. Okay, well, thank you all for coming to Speak Easy Zoom tonight. Now, okay, we've got currently, anybody missing? We've got about 14 readers at the moment. So I know we're two people down, so we'll do another 2 people. So, right, okay. I'll go through the running order I've got tonight so far. Anybody wants to do any swapping round, let me know now before we start, okay? So we'll start off in a minute or 2, and the first half, I'll put Richard on first. You know, Richard always likes going first, he keeps telling me. So, Ray, are you okay if you go in second?
Yep.
Okay. Mary's not here. Terry, are you okay going third, mate?
Yeah, that would be great, and yeah.
Cheers, mate. Okay, Martin's not here. Amanda, you go after Terry. Katie, are you okay if you go after Amanda?
Right, yeah, because I was a bit last minute, so I haven't really prepared what I'm going to read. I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah, well, that's what I've done. I only sorted out what I was going to read at 7 o'clock. So not
all right, then.
I've had one of those days today. Okay, Chris, are you okay if you go on after Katie?
Yeah, all good. All good.
Okay. And Nick's not here yet, so hopefully he'll be here shortly and he could take us out in the first half, okay? Now, second half, Maria, are you okay starting us off second half?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, you okay going after Maria? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Fiona, are you okay going after Mike?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
okay.
fine.
And then I'll go after you, Fiona. Susan, are you okay going after me?
Yeah, no problem.
Brilliant. Finn Hall's here as well, so I can put Finn. And I'll put Finn on that after Susan, so that's fine. I'll tell him in a minute. Okay, Emil, is it Emil, is it? So I got that right?
It's Elmien.
Elmien, right. I'll try and remember that, okay? Apologies, okay? Okay, are you okay going on after Finn, who's just coming in now?
Fine. Yeah, looks great.
Okay, and as we stand at the moment, taking us out tonight, and I don't know what his new character's going to be, is Clive, so is that okay with you, Clive?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Am I mute? No, I'm not muted. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant, guys. Okay, right. We've said before, we've got about 15, 16 readers tonight. So can you all stick to, if you can, to about 4 minutes or so tonight, okay?
Yeah.
And as a favour as well, for the people, obviously, that are going to be reading, can you all go into mute? Obviously, when that person's starting, okay? Finn, I know you've just come in now, mate. You're going to go on the second half just after Susan. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, cheers.
Okay, that'd be 3, 4, 5, about six down in the second half, mate. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, been the case, and guys and girls, starting us off tonight then is the one and only Richard Harries.
Thank you. I've got a couple of odd bits. One is quite old, and one is very new. And thank you, Kathy. It's lovely to see you bouncing about like that. She's got a very expressive hands as well as a face. I hope that most people or everyone here knows a little bit about Agatha Christie and Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple, because otherwise you're going to be very bored if you don't. So this is an old one, which is called Miss Marple as a Feminist Icon. She sits there quietly in a corner, listening, eavesdropping even. Hears what everyone says, especially the men. She wanders round her garden and other folks and listens in. Hears what passing people say. Some are suspects, some are witnesses. She gets out her trowel and digs out the weeds while listening to all the time she gets rid of those weeds, just as she gets rid of the canker of murderers in society. Who is she? Why, Dame Agatha's amazing and deceptive, gentle Jane Marple, Miss Marple to so many. Miss Marple seems at first to be a negative stereotype, with the knitting, the weeding, the gossiping, the eavesdropping, asexual, but she hears what those clever men say, the men that can see the facts but can't work out the logical and evidential conclusions. She uses those negative stereotypes and is triumphant, solving all. Even the trowel, so handy to her in Freud, would be seen as a phallic symbol, and she uses it. So I proclaim Jane Marple to be an advanced and strong feminist icon. And it came out at university many years ago. I did a project on Marple, and I discovered that, you find these old papers, don't you? I thought, oh, reuse, recycle, turn that into a poem. So I did, because I got all the research there. And then I don't know if you know Ross Punton, but he has a wonderful page called A Line a Day, and he challenges us to write different things every week. And Ray and I both do it, don't we? And there's a few others do it too. And he wanted us to write about some favourite characters. So again, I went back to Miss Marple, and there's a book called At Bertram's Hotel, and all you need to know is it's this sinister pseudo-Victorian building in London, and the Irish maitre d' is about to get shot, and that's the murder in the book. And this is Captain Hastings Returns. It's not a poem, it's just a short piece of prose. I had returned from my farm in South America for a few short days so I could sort out some finances. Stocks, shares and bonds had called me back from my paradise with my beloved Bella at my side. My closest friend had gone off mysteriously abroad. He is a Belgian and rather a celebrity in his own way. Oh, I would have liked to have seen him and spent some time in his company, so with no other close friend to stay with, I booked into a quiet, old-fashioned hotel in central London that I had recommended to me. I approached down a cobbled side street and seemed to go back in time to the Victorian era. The doorman was Irish, attentive, polite, well-built, in a full uniform with a multitude of medals across his left breast. I entered and booked in, and a very polite lady with somewhat grizzled hair had my baggage taken upstairs while I found a comfortable seat near a blazing log fire in an open hearth. I was in a comfortable wing chair, and in the next one was seated an old lady knitting. She gave the appearance of being elderly and dotty, but I suddenly realised that she had shrewd and alert eyes. They followed everyone around the room. I had only seen one person with such an expression, and that was my Belgian friend. Why was I so reminded of him? Otherwise, they seemed to have nothing in common. We started a conversation. I was told that her nephew Raymond, a novelist, had paid for her treat. She'd come up from St Mary Mead, where she lived. She was so looking forward to buying household linens. All that while I felt that she was not only managing to pay attention to you, but also taking in everything that was happening around us. I asked Miss Marple, for that was her name, if she had heard of my friend Hercule Poirot. She had indeed, and it was one of her dearest desires to meet him. I told her I would provide her with a letter of introduction, as I would not be in England long enough to actually manage to arrange a meeting between them. She thanked me and said it was unlikely that she would be leaving home again for a long time. I told her that she reminded me of him in the way she was so bright and observant. She said, "How very interesting. I often compare people I meet with people I've met in the past. It can be very useful. I wonder if I have anything else in common with your Monsieur Poirot." As she said that, she twisted her neck, looked at me directly and gave me a smile, and her eyes twinkled. I felt there was something that she was not telling me, but could not imagine what. And that's how I wrote about these famous characters, extended it. And I put it on an Agatha Christie page because I thought, I don't know that I'm allowed to extend characters. Is it about copyright or something, But they all seemed happy with it. And before I go, can I just say, this is a CD called Brilliant in aid of Withensea Pier. And it's 14 of my poems turned into songs by amazing singer-songwriters. And if anyone wants it, it's £10 and you can inbox me. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. Excellent stuff as always, mate. Anyone was also wondering about that CD. You can stream it also on Bandcamp as well.
Oh, yes, it's on.
You want to listen to it first. And then if my memory is correct, it's a similar price as just downloading it as well through Bandcamp, which I use all the time. So, but anyway, Richard, great start, mate, as always.
I think somebody moaned to me that it actually cost £1 more to download it on Bandcamp, and they thought it should have been cheaper. Well, I don't control prices, certainly not on Bandcamp. But anyway,
I'm saying nothing. Moving on, okay. I've got views on that, but we'll leave that for another day. So, yes. Anyway, okay, moving straight on then. I thought the best person to follow Richard here is the gentleman that came along for the first time last month, who Richard recommended to us, and I think he's also a fantastic writer, Ray Douglas. Over to you, Ray.
Thank you very much. Yeah, most things are Richard's fault, so you're quite right to blame him. I've got 3 very short poems for you. They're all connected in as much as there's a mistake. They're about mistakes, some kind of mistake happens. And they're also kind of written by request. I've only just noticed now, just looking through them. But anyway, that's a different thing. This one's called Vision, and it was written for National Poetry Day last year. The theme was Vision. It took me ages to work out that last year was 2020. 2020, I didn't get that at all. Anyway, the primary school teacher got in touch and asked me to write something, so I did. Sometimes I look, but I can't see the things which are in front of me. I blink my eyes. I rub them too. I try to change my point of view. I do my best to see what's there. I focus hard. I glare. I stare. But all I see, a furry mess, nothing more than blurriness. I cannot see beyond my nose. Don't even try to spot my toes. From time to time, I make mistakes. I thought those cats were roller skates. I need my vision. I want my sight. But I'm lucky. Yes, that's right. Because soon the problem's been and gone once I put my glasses on. There you go. Problem's been and gone. The problem with my chair sinking hasn't fixed though. There we go. Here's a picture so kids can see that cats could be roller skates. Use your imagination about how they got onto his feet. Okay, the next one's called Cardboard Pet. Again, someone got in touch and said, why don't you write a poem about cardboard pet? So I did. There is a man I've never met who has a special cardboard pet. Not a puppy, not a kitten. Nonetheless, the man is smitten. He takes the pet on big long walks. He imagines that it talks. He feeds the pet on shredded paper, which leads to a nasty vapour. But then one day the news was sad. The weather, well, it turned out bad. Windy, rainy, stormy, foggy. That cardboard pet turned to mush and soggy. There we go. Cool. I write for kids, by the way. I'm hoping you've sort of worked that out. I didn't say at the beginning. I normally warn people, but I don't know. Maybe you found your level. I don't know. The last one, second mention of Ross Punton. It's a shame he's not here. Second mention of Ross Punton. This was again one of his cues, and this was about something that you believed when you were a child, and there's something in this which I believed when I was a kid. It's called Grandson Mark. He did not believe the earth was flat, far too smart to fall for that. He did not believe the moon was cheese, saw through that with simple ease. He did not believe in ghosts and ghouls, left all that to silly fools. He did not believe in imps and sprites and goblins, fairies, troglodytes. Yet he believed when Grandad Reg spoke about that magic veg, those mighty carrots on his plate, which made him super smashing great. Eat those carrots by the bunch, gobble, nibble, chew and crunch, said Grandad Reg to grandson Mark, then you'll see perfect in the dark. Mark, whilst playing out one night, set out to prove his granddad right. He took off his trusted specs and hopped onto his BMX. He cycled quickly round the park. Yes, you've guessed it, after dark. But grandson Mark just did not see that great big massive chestnut tree. There we go.
Tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
Thank you so much.
You got to
Amazon. Okay, cool.
Sorry, Ray, what those books again? Just so people know. Richard, one sec, mate. Sorry, I make sure people. Ray, what were those books again, mate? You flashed them that quick then. I couldn't see what they were.
I get embarrassed. So these, but I'll put links in the chat.
Yeah, if you can, mate. Oh, look.
These are on Amazon. That's slow enough for you, Andy. You got them?
Yeah, got them spot on. I've got to say that Mike's put at the bottom there, and you're right with this. About you look at the comments. Mike's put, love it, Ray, funny and cleverly rhyming. Now, Amanda, you're the same as me, aren't you? Because we're a firm believer. We hear so much bad rhyming done. It's a pleasure when you hear it actually well done. What do you got to say, Amanda?
Well, I've read the poems he sent me across and I enjoyed them.
Yeah, of course I'm reading your podcast.
I've recorded them. I've just not sent them to you to edit yet.
Yeah, I'll be up in a couple of weeks. Amanda does a podcast, everybody called Reading About Extracts, which Ray's on and Richard's been on recently as well. So that's why. So I've not heard them yet. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. Definitely so. But great stuff, Ray. Thank you, mate.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Right, we're over to, blimey up. The next gentleman. I believe I met this guy more than a few years ago because people that know Guy Kajefferama, Bolton-based punk poets, me and him used to run a night more than a couple of years ago called Guitar and Verse. We started off originally in Bolton. And this next gentleman, I'm pretty sure he came to one of the early ones. He'd been in touch with me recently. Terry, is that the case? Have we met before, have we?
Absolutely spot on that, and yeah, great description of when we met.
Well, anyway, Terry Caffey, everybody, before I forget, right? I might introduce you then.
Hi, everybody. It's what a smashing turnout of wonderful poets and audience. Yeah, my name is Terry Caffey. Obviously, it's the first time with Andy's group and all that, so it really is nice to be locked up in my bedroom, looking at stacks of happy faces and listening to some wonderful literature. This is a love poem. I wrote it and I love it. It's called Over, and it's about getting chucked by your girlfriend and wanting your girlfriend back, but there's not much chance of getting her back. So it's called Over. What we had, I know, is over, but I am so not over you. I'm like a duck without a quack. Should be the Jill for the Jack. I'm like a horse without the neigh. I'm missing you most every day. Should be the ice for your cream. The snore inside your dream. I'll be the patch for your pirates. Aha. The cannon to fire it. Kaboom. I'll be the bullseye hitting. The heart that gets smitten. I'll be the lips sadly bitten. I'll be the ball of wool kitten. I'll be your motorway home. Brum, 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 brum. I'll be the ring on your phone. Brr, 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 brr. Hello, Andy? I'll be Marvin when he's grooving. This old heart of mine is moving. This old heart of mine been broke 1,000 times. I'll be the buster for your rhymes. I'll change your nickels into dimes. I'll be the ginger for your Fred. You're camping out inside my head. I'm like a tent peg that is battered, broken-hearted, broken, shattered. What we had, I know, is over, but I am so not over you. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies aren't always blue. I miss the lies between the thighs. Can't see the rainbow in the skies. You are the rose, I am the thistle. Ouch! I'm clocking off, you are the whistle. Woo, woo! I'm like the ball without a bounce. Boing! The tiger learning how to pounce. Look out, Teddy, look out, Teddy, look out, Teddy. I'm like the one that got away. I'm missing you most every day. I'm like the poem that gets written. I'm the carpet that needs fitting. I'm the fizz without the pop. The till ringing in your shop. Ka-ching! I'm overlooked, you are the view. And when I look, there's only you. You are the web and I the fly, the salted tear that starts to cry. The break of dawn, crack, that shapes the day. Tornado blown, whoosh, I'm blown away. I'm overlooked and overdue, but I am so not over you. There you go. Thank you very much for listening.
Tremendous, Terry. Absolutely brilliant, mate. I think it was Mike's obviously getting that. It's quite on the boil tonight there. He's put a comment at the bottom here, and I'll read it out again. I agree with this completely. Again, never heard somebody improvise sound effects in one poem. Brilliant. I agree completely. You had me and Amanda cracking up, then. That was absolutely tremendous. Absolutely.
That's lovely. Thank you very much, guys. That's lovely.
Okay, right. Well, after that, then, now I can only think of one person that could potentially follow that, and she sat next to me. You're going to do what I mean.
Yeah.
For the last time, Amanda Steele.
I'm going to depress everybody now after that. I've put together an anthology with 31 different authors, and this is the beginning of the short story that I've got in it. The book's called From the Shadows, and the short story is called Bury Your Past. Present day, I shoveled the last piles of dirt over the makeshift grave. I never thought I would have to bury a body, but there's no time to dwell on my actions. Now is the time to run. 7 years earlier, I looked over at the electronic invitation. The only David I knew was on my chemistry course at college. We had never spoken. I didn't even know his name before getting the invite. But maybe this invitation had been sent to everyone in the same courses he was studying. It made sense, however desperate it might be. He started a few months after everyone else, making it difficult to fit into the already formed friendship groups. Why not, I thought as I decided to go to his party. Chris broke up with me the previous week, taking most of our friends with him, even though those who had been my friends before we got together. Considering he was the one who cheated on me, I was annoyed, but kept quiet, trying to be the bigger person. As I arrived at the party, I looked around for David, but I couldn't see him anywhere. In fact, I didn't recognise anyone at all from college. A guy close to my age approached me, smiling warmly, almost as if he knew me. He was tall, probably about 6'5" or more. At 5'10", most guys hated it if I was taller than them. His dark head and dimpled face and sexy smile made it all too easy to say hi as if we hadn't just met. I never got to introduce myself because someone yelled that the party was over while several more yelled the warning to run before scrambling for the nearest exit. The hot guy in front of me took my hand and pulled me towards the back door, which was less congested than the front door. We ran through the back garden where he helped me clamber over the wooden fence, and we ran through the woods together hand in hand. It was almost romantic, and I wish Chris could see me at that moment. "Are you okay, Erica?" he said, as we slowed. I wasn't used to running. I nodded rather than spoke to give my lungs time to recover some oxygen. I definitely would have struggled to tell him my name wasn't Erica. He walked me home, only it wasn't home. The building he walked me to was a small cottage painted white. It clearly belonged to someone who had money. We stopped, he leaned in, wished me good night and kissed me. I got the sense he seemed familiar with me, but not at all like someone kissing another person for the first time. I wrapped my arms around him, caught up in the moment. Again, I wished Chris could see me at that moment. I watched him leave, realising I didn't even know his name, and I was miles from home. And if you want to find out what happens, you'll have to buy the book.
Talk about an absolute people on the teaser there. So only you could do that, Amanda, definitely. So now, obviously, people are wondering. Get back a bit closer. Not you run away just yet.
Okay.
Right. Just to clarify, what is the book called?
It's
again?
called From the Shadows, and it's a mix of crime and horror, fiction and poetry from 31 different authors.
Now, you want to tell everybody about the launch that's happening as well?
That's on the 27th of August at 7, I think it is. Yeah, on Zoom.
Yeah, watch this space. So follow Mind Leads feed on Facebook. You'll find it. We're going to do you'll be able to stream it as well, so you'll be able to pick up on it quite easy. So, okay, moving straight on now. We're on to another lady now, and this lady I only met for the first time last night, actually, bizarrely enough. But Facebook's a funny thing where you can end up talking to people and never actually meet them. And this next lady, when I first met her, about 10 or 11 years ago now, she was living in Chester. She's now living down south, and she's a tremendous poet herself. So make everybody feel welcome to Katy Konrad. Over to you, Katy.
Thanks, Andy. That's a lovely introduction. I only really found out last minute that I was doing this about 2 hours ago, so I'm just going to wing it and see how it goes. So I just I'm not that good at Zoom, so you have to bear with me. So the first poem I'm going to read is called Disney is Dead Inside, and it's about mental health. Okay. Disney is dead inside. Mickey's eyes have lost their sparkle. Minnie is stalking Meghan Markle. Donald Duck's gone schizophrenic, frantic, fiery, frickin' frenetic. Princess Elsa's not sound of mind. Belle's bipolar, such a bind. Winnie the Pooh's having a wobble. Cinderella's got the collywobbles. Ariel's anxiety is at breaking point. But why? It's hard to pinpoint. Princess Jasmine feels just fine, or so you'd think from looking online. Olaf's OCD is off the chart. He's channeling his pain into snowy art. Rapunzel's on a cocktail of drugs, when all she needs is a massive hug. Pluto's on Prozac, so watch your back. Goofy's got PTSD. Gaston's got the blues. Cinderella's lost her sparkly shoes. Anna's anorexia, or was it to you? Sugar-coated hopes and dreams, cute fluffy kittens and motivational memes. When really it's time make-believe died, when even Disney is dead inside. That's the first one. Oh, you're still there. Yep, I'm just trying to not go run over. So brilliant. Okay, next one I'm going to read is quite a short one. It's I'll just read it, but it's called You Are Enough. There is a YouTube video of it as well. It was inspired by an article about Kim Kardashian having a vampire facial, which I think is where you get blood taken out of you and then injected into your face to make you look younger, something like that. Anyway, this is the poem. It's called You Are Enough. You are enough. No Botox, no fillers, no vampire facial. You are enough. No thigh gap, no leg day, no hashtag Monday motivation. You are enough. No Brazilian blow dry, no human hair extensions, no short choppy bangs. You are enough. No slimming world, no starvation, no hashtag clean eating. You are enough. Just you, your heart and mind, your body and soul. You are enough. Okay, how long have I got? That was that one. The next one, I think one more. So this last poem I'm going to read is about the football back in 2018 when it was a heat wave as well. This is also on YouTube. I think Andy's got all my links. So I'm going to read this last one. Hope you enjoy it. This is England. This summer, England's felt like Rome. Sunshine shaded, it's coming home. Me and me mum and me nan and me dad and a bucket of Vindaloo. Bucket, it's coming home. This is England and it's coming home. DJs grooving and breaking beats, pumped up lads, pissing in the street. Kids and dads waving flags, boozers and cruisers sharing fags. This is England and it's coming home. The sun beats down and it feels like Rome. Come on, England, the nation roars. 3 lions on a shirt, hot girls in tiny skirts, nans and granddads, mums and dads. It's vibrant, it's wild, it's proper mad. This is England and it's coming home. Just like our boys back in '66, it's groovy, it's funky, it's proper sick. Southgate in his waistcoat looking suave and sharp. Mums and girls scoring goals in the park. Students and workers in St. George unite. We're rocking, and we feel just fine. This is England, and it's coming home. Summer of love, this could be Rome. Thank you.
Tremendous, Katie. Really great to see you again. And it's been a long time since I've seen you, isn't it? So
yeah, only yesterday.
Yesterday. but brilliant stuff. Okay, really delivered with venom there as well. Really, really great, powerful stuff. So
thanks,
pleasure having you on again. So
thanks for welcoming me.
Come again, of course, as always.
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay, I'll put some links. Put your links on at the interval. I've got a chance to go and get into Facebook, grab them. Now, moving right on. Okay, we're off to know a gentleman now, and this gentleman had a launch last week, I seem to recall as well, of his new book, which I did a podcast with him fairly recently, called White Eye of the Needle, and the writer is Chris Campbell. Over to you, Chris, my friend.
Thanks very much, Andy. Hi, everyone. Really enjoyed it so far. I'm looking forward to the pieces to come too. So I'm going to read a couple of poems from White Eye of the Needle. First is a bit of a lockdown poem based in Nottingham, where I was living. I've just moved down to Bristol, but missing Nottingham a bit. So this is called Synchronized Buskers. Sun shines on the canal and through our window on Castle Boulevard. Joggers and cyclists along a normally busy road, but on a Sunday morning in cold October air, there are gaps in traffic revealing boats like sitting cats in the Kitty Cafe. A woman walks towards the train station, suitcase in hand, past the castle on the cliff, cocooned in scaffolding, supporting visitor trade like Hooters on a Saturday. Even through still barriers, it's something to admire, like other parts of this East Midlands city. Dainty delis, cocktail bars, and independent shops scatter through the centre, between the chain stores and worn shopping centres that add to the city's weight, so not to float down the canal. Paul Smith closed Jamie's Italian, and the elderly shoemaker shouting to a crowd. The city hall hums prestige, gently synchronizing with the buskers and fruit market sellers. Pears for £1, pears for £1. The discount shops, the trainer stores, treading their authority in a city stamped with gyms. The ice hockey stadium that sells hot dogs outside on match nights. Fans pour into the centre as floods fill the roads, and nearby art galleries, independent theatres and Nottingham Playhouse showing ballet during Black History Month. Donuts for the sweet tooth, sports bars for footy fans unable to make the Forest or Notts County games, and a nail bar colours a side road. Students educate the streets with hoodies and ripped jeans, while surgeons, doctors and nurses stay up all night on late shifts. Sirens regularly pass, ambulances like Ubers. We're in safe hands as traffic breaks. Sunshine reveals the beauty of the canal. And that was Synchronized Buskers. And this next one is a little bit different. It's called Dawn. When exhausted birds have flown away and tweeted their last breath, that's when I'll close my eyes and say there's more to life than death. For when they call with heart through feathered chest. And as they go, they fly with hope that after song they'll rest. And I in bed as next day looms and dawn begins to stir. Think back before this sombre place to sunlit gardens far. A silent bird that sings no more may have no song to make. But as I lie in deepened thought, my bitten nails break. As once it sang, brought the day and closed it with a verse. Now every time I think of it, my anxiety gets worse. Take my clothes, my pillow too, and place me by the tree where these poor birds once posed and sang and breathed relief to me. And that was Dawn. Thank you very much. And yeah, I had a launch last week for White Eye of the Needle. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. And I'll put my website in the chat as well. Thank you very much. Thanks, Andy.
Wonderful stuff, Chris. Always a pleasure having you on, mate, here, because I'll be honest, I always enjoy doing these sort of nights anyway, because you get so many good writers of varying styles. Yours, Chris, is such good storytelling with your poetry. And it's really, really always quite very, very evocative stuff. And you look at the comments, so it's brilliant stuff, mate. That's all I can say there, mate. Again, so come again as always, mate. You're always welcome. Thanks, okay. We're going to do a slight swap round here, as Mr. Lovell has just arrived, I can see. So, Nick, you were actually down to reading next, but I'm not going to put you on. So I'll put you on, mate. Second in the first half, on the second in the second half. Okay.
Absolutely fine, mate.
Is that okay? Give you a chance to get yourself sorted, mate. Okay. So, Mike, can you do me a favour then, mate? If I put Martin on now, can you take us out at the end of the first half?
Mike has left the building.
Has he left the building? Oh, no, he hasn't.
His internet is down.
Oh, the awkward pig. No, me, okay. What we'll then do is I'll finish off the first half in a minute then, okay? Well, I didn't spot that, Reggie. Thank you, mate. Okay, well, that being the case, and we'll move on. Next one up is another wonderful writer, and me and Amanda know this gentleman very well from our Write Out Loud Stockport group at the Art Gallery, and he's a great writer. Martin Elder.
Thanks, Andy. No pressure then.
Oh, no, never put you under pressure, mate. Just take the truth.
Okay, see how we get on. This first one's called Inky Words. Out came your inky words once again, the ones that so easily wash away with just a splash of rain, the ones that roll and curve around your mouth, that kiss and in order to cajole, that kiss and curse in order to cajole, the way you've always done, so that you can direct and control every thought, word and deed to which I've played to a piper's tune, nothing to which I can claim to be my own. So I can say now, I no longer wish to suffocate or drown in the waters of your loquacious Jabberwocky tongue. Instead, I have a new chapter in my life, written with words that are reliable and safe, that do not falter or blink, that neither smear nor stain. So it is my pen I shall use, and my words that I shall speak. You know what? No thanks. I would rather not, for I will gladly wait for the one whose words that are indelible, copper-plated, and on whom I can rely. Goodbye. Okay, this next one is called Bored. It was only 10 in the morning, but already she was tired, she was bored, and it showed in her mouth and her eyes. She could not disguise it, if anybody cared to notice. There was more that she wanted, but she just wasn't sure what it was. Her thoughts scribbled crop circles in purple, green, and red, and the sapphire scarf she wore blew back and forth vaguely, as half-heartedly as the feelings running through her arms, her legs, thighs, hips, and toes. She was an unenthusiastic flag, showering somebody else's glory. Shifting her gaze outside, she fell in with the trees, the grass, and the moaning crows. She pecked and bobbed, screamed and shoved her unwilling frame, as lifting her mighty coal-black wings, she rose on soft, warm waves, far above the dusty plains, the rivers, fields, and trees. With hardly a flicker of wings or tail, she went up and round and down she soared until she heard the sudden report. Maisie Brown, are you with us? In a spiral, she spun out of control, falling fast to the ground, her face the vacant maze of that other world, far away from dust and chalk, the bludgeoned desk and chairs. Looking up at the slavering scowl and raven cowl of urgent pay attention claws. For no more than a moment she froze. Then smiling, she rose and bowed, leaving the room in silent repose, marching down determined corridors till at last, and with one mighty feathered spread, she squawked but once, and she was up, away, and gone. Thank you. I've just got one more short one, Andy, if that's okay. This is called My Old Horizon, and it's about my old hometown where I was born on the coast. This old horizon upon which I stand and stare, this old town of mine which has been dressed in skirts and the finest blouses, that gives itself to the airs and graces of something that it never was, the dusty, smelly, seagull baiting place, of which I recall with a reputation for the seedy and the dirty weekend hidden behind netted twitching lies and kiss-me-quick hats, smutty postcards with rubicund bodies and cherry-red blushing faces. Where is this place of my youth, with flashing lights and fish and chips along the prom, the duck-egg green rusting railings and barely covered sit-under-cover shelters, its heart now filled with row upon row of exclusive, expensive, ironic shops, the place to be if you're part of the crowd and in the know? Where is this horizon I once knew, now fading fast? Thank you.
Excellent stuff, Martin. Always a pleasure having you on there, mate. And yeah, Feona summed up a good line of yours there about the moaning crows as well. And you're such a great storyteller, and that's why I always love having you on these sort of nights. So thank you again, mate. Okay, I'm going to ask you, Martin, as well. I know you've got a book on the way, so what status are you up to with the book at the moment?
I've been doing so many other things. I'm trying to move my mother at the moment, my 94-year-old mother, across the country. So my head's been in that, I'm afraid. But you know, I've done the cover with your help, thanks. I'm still trying to get my head around the actual format of the book. So at some point it will come out.
We'll make sure we get a plug for you when it does, mate. Tell you, thank you again, mate, as always, mate. Brilliant stuff. Okay, right, to finish off the first half, then, I was going to ask Mr. Booth to finish us off, but I don't know where he's gone. So I personally think he's probably going to get a glass of wine or two, so we might see him again later. So what I'll do, I'll finish off the first half. Now I've got a poem and a bit of flash fiction. Now the poem is actually in Amanda's From the Shadows book. So, and this one actually is a true story as well. There's a bar over in Steadybridge, which is about 5 or 10 miles away from where we live, called the Q Bar, which is right next door to Steadybridge train station. And this actually is the reputed ghost that haunts the bar. It's of a labourer who had quite a sad story, quite a sad life in late 1800s, early 1900s. So this is the labourer of Kew Bar. Vanishing suddenly, some say he always had a shadow that persisted often for a minute or two after he disappeared, leaving a coldness in the air and a disembodied laugh carrying into the beer garden. Conjured it into stories that they heard when they were young, moored in grief, injecting sadness with disinfected tears, sellotape from murmurs desecrated from buildings across the road, drowned in the weight of time, scarred in the mist and invisible fingerprints cut from the same cloth, colliding over and over, orbiting around that one place it knew rather than a broken home and a cruel labouring job, shortening his life in a vain attempt to fit in. Okay, right, something a bit more, I'm not going to say this is much more cheerful, but it's something a bit more abstract, okay? This is a bit of flash fiction. It's called Unexpected Visitor. Reggie might remember this one. When Michael got to his front window in the living room after running in from the garden, there was nobody there. That's strange, he told himself. I was sure I heard a knock on the window, but when there was nobody there, he gave up and walked slowly back to the garden, only to hear the same knock again when he picked up his spade. "Hang on, I'm coming," he called out and ran back inside, only to see there was nobody there by his front window. "This is a bit strange," he said to himself, and was about to return to his garden when the front doorbell went, and he was greeted by a little green man. "Yes?" he said, puzzled. "You don't have a bucket of water, do you?" he asked. "Our engine's overheated." "Sure." Michael went to his kitchen and came back out with a bucket of water. Where he parked? "Just off the corner of Newton Street. I was worried we weren't going to be able to get to take off. Nobody's blown up their doors. I've gone up and down what you call 2 streets. I don't understand you humans." "I guess people ain't used to you, shall we say," he smiled, and followed him around the corner to Newton Street. "And you?" he had asked. "Yeah, I met some of your kind before," he smiled. Round the corner. They got to the ship in a few moments. The back of the ship, which contained what he thought was the engine, was on fire, and there was 3 other little green men running around in a panic trying to fan the flames. "I don't think it's going to take off, guys," he said. "I think it's what you call on Earth as a write-off." "Are you sure you can't help us?" the creature said. "We've got to get home. We have vital information for our emperor." "I think I've got some spare parts that can help me," he smiled. "Really?" The green man looked at him. "We've been warned not to trust you white men, and you return on us the first chance you can." Strange you to mention that. Michael pulled a gun out and shot them all dead. He got £250 from the local scrap dealer for the ship. Well, that's me done, guys. Okay, right. So we're at now 25 to 9. Sorry about anyone like little green men there, right? Right, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break, okay? So, and then we'll come back. I'll put the running order up now on the chat column, and if Mike gets back in, we'll squeeze it somehow.
He's rebooting his computer because his internet went down.
Oh, yeah, it was away. Fair enough.
He might come back.
Brilliant, thanks, Reggie. Right, see you on 10 minutes, guys.
Hey, Kathy, did you get the email I sent you today?
Yes, thank you, love. Yeah.
It's okay.
Thanks a lot.
No,
You sorted a little time then.
Yeah. You don't have to memorize it all, obviously. Don't worry.
That would be good. Oh. I'm sure Richard's style is very different from Dean's. I'm sure it's gone completely different.
He's when he first sent his first bit back, I kind of went, what the heck is this? It's kind of, it's absolutely one. He does that stuff anyway. He, like, you know, when he messages, he always messages stuff like that. Weird, say weird, but off kilter stuff. And it was a bit more difficult to bring it back round and link it into. But I think we got there. We got there. You know.
Well done.
We got there.
Wow.
So it'll be fun. We'll get together next month sometime at a mutually convenient time and go through it.
Sure, that'd be great. Good man. Thank you.
Can I ask you where you're from, Kath? Can I ask?
Sure, Chair. Yeah, I'm from Belfast, Northern Ireland in Belfast. Yeah.
Oh, smashing, yeah. Well, I'm Irish as well. My surname is Caffey, like the Irish beer.
You don't sound like you're Irish, mate.
But Liverpool is a collision of the Irish trying to get in and the English trying to get out.
Yep.
So where
I love what you did. That was class. I loved it.
Oh, thank you, Kath. Yeah.
Good to hear you.
Nice one. And where are you now then? Where are you living now?
I'm living in Crossgar in County Down, so I'm still in Northern Ireland.
Oh, are you? How smashing. How great is this technology stuff?
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? Thank God for it, for keeping us going the last year and a half, eh?
I'm in a place called Great Sankey, which is like in between Liverpool and Manchester. It's like an overspill of Liverpool, but I'm from a beautiful little leafy fishing village in Liverpool called a dead sweet, pretty little place.
Wow, who knew there were pretty places in Liverpool?
Come on, Kathy.
Yeah, no, because people say that about Belfast too, and some places in Belfast are gorgeous.
Well, all my family are from Dublin. Raheen.
Gorgeous city.
Yeah, it's a fabulous city, yeah. And I've been there quite a few times, like, so, yeah.
It's very like Liverpool. It's got great vibe.
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, it's bouncing. It's like Rio de Janeiro every weekend, Liverpool. You know, you can stand on the fringe, you can stand on the outskirts of Liverpool and look at the city, and it's going like that. The cathedrals are up and down, and the football pitches, they're all going like that.
Yeah.
How long you been writing then, Kat?
Goodness, probably writing all my life, mate, but only really putting it out there the last 3 years. But I'm not reading tonight. I'm just chilling tonight, listening to you guys.
No, you must have a poem up your sleeve, Kat.
I have one or two, maybe.
Get it out and get it done, girl.
I'm doing my best.
So is it poetry you've been writing?
Yeah, I'm a spoken word performer, so yeah, I've been doing a couple of gigs just over this year on Zoom and stuff, but yeah, I was at festivals and stuff before that, before they closed the world down.
I know, yeah. That's a good description, before they closed the world down, yeah. And you like performing?
I like it when it's done. I hate the build up to it.
No.
Just so that you know, Terry, Kathy is amazing.
Oh, thanks.
I bet she is as well. I bet she is indeed. You know,
she is absolutely brilliant, believe me.
I second that. I saw you like a block from the blue. You're fantastic.
Oh,
Look at
thanks, Mike.
She's incredible. She's got amazing words. She's got she doesn't do praise well, nor does Ray. I'm surprised he didn't pull his shirt over his head before, but she doesn't do praise well. She's got no fantastic expressive face, and her voice is just wonderful and perfect for her material. So
dialect and the intonation.
She's got everything. Yeah.
I'm only just getting. That's lovely praise that from Clive and from Richard, Kat. But I'm only just getting to know you, Kat, and I'm reading your body language. And if you forgive me for saying this, all you need to do is realize how great you are. And when you pull your hoodie up over your head and you got all shy, it's like being in a rugby match or a football match. The moment you step over that white line and get onto the pitch, i.e. with your poem, that's when you really start performing and coming alive. So just find that bit more confidence within yourself. And then you're on legs made for flying.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, Terry. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Okay.
I am embarrassed now.
The face is as red as are bad, lads.
Well,
yeah, we can see.
It's a nice colour. It suits you. Yeah, but if you get a chance to see tonight, I'd like to listen to you, Kat.
Yeah, there's some stuff on YouTube, Terry. You can check it out.
What's your surname, Kat?
Kathy Carson.
Kathy Carson.
With a C.
With a C, yeah.
I will check it out. And you write for anybody and everybody, any age groups?
I try to write mostly adults, yeah.
Yeah.
Bit different from what you did.
Do you get much work?
I'm a nurse and a counsellor, so I don't have time to do as much as I'd like to do, but I get enough to keep me interested and keep me going. Yeah.
Packing being a counsellor, packing being a nurse, and go for being a poet.
Yeah, because it pays so well, Terry.
Well, I've been a professional poet now for 25 years.
Wow.
I made a living every single day of my life as a poet.
Good man. Well done. Wow. Respect.
But it's not, thank you, yeah, it's not just from poetry, Kat. It comes from running workshops as much as anything else and selling the idea and selling the fact that you as a writer stroke poet can go anywhere, read a few poems and then organize a workshop and then get people to write. And that goes from, I've been in 4,500 schools. I've been writing residence in 32 prisons. I've been funded by Roald Dahl for the last 20 years. I wrote some of the opening music for the Olympic Games, blah, 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 blah. I got through out of school when I was 15.
Yeah, me too.
There you go. When I was at school, I couldn't even spell poet. Now I are one. But yeah, all the poets and writers that I know, there are very few make it from either children's books or adults' poetry books. You can count them on two hands. But the poets that I know that make a living, run the workshops and sell themselves to just about every organization or school. And they tell them that they can go in and run the workshops and they plan the workshops and they motivate and enthuse people to get writing. And that's how you stay longer in business.
Good advice.
I might be teaching you to suck eggs, but you know, that's the way to do it.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Terry.
You're welcome, Kathy Carson.
Okay, everybody. We better get cracking with part 2 now. So I'll let you take a bit of a break. So, okay, right, so we've got 8 people in the second half and one person, I think she's coming back about 9 o'clock, so hopefully we'll get her back on then. Okay, starting off over to the second half, we're over to Wigan for a dear friend of mine, Amanda's actually, that helped us out with the From the Shadows book. Amanda, didn't she? Would you like to introduce her then, since you did that then?
Maria Byrne.
Over to you, Maria.
Hi. I've got a couple of poems and they're like a bit of like a protest theme.
and one's a bit more modern, and this needs a bit of explaining. So I'm from Wigan, and it's a bit controversial, but the council wants to sell off the galleries, which is a shopping centre, and sorry, I thought I was on mute. It's I mean, it's like no one really goes shopping anymore because it all went online anyway. But some people are sentimental, so like a protest going on, especially with the market traders. So I wrote this. It's called the Gallery Doors, which is what the shopping.
Maria, I think we've lost you, unfortunately, there. Can you hear us?
Tradition lies like the sediment of the earth, now takes a meteorite, burning extinction in its path of outright apartment capitalist glory. And no, the angry market traders shout, and no, our unprotected national heritage, the blueprint of the order. The live music is straight of spoken word, just as important as Stratford or the seat of King Arthur. Nothing is respected of the working man's history, save the market time. Thank you. The second one, well, yesterday was the anniversary of the Battle of Peterloo in St. Peter's Field in Manchester, and I wrote this for a project that never happened because of bad weather, which was a shame. But this is called The Field of Broken Dreams. The nose, bloody, running from the casualties of Peterloo, and the workmen's clogs lie fallow in the fields of broken dreams. As the blood of industry runs through the rivers of Manchester, bees built up the sweat, tired, restless, muscles, arms like cogs of that clockwork machine in the field of broken dreams, disrupted by a rainbow of people of hope. And the institutions that come from the field of dreams, the NHS, the welfare state, and back again, turning back to protest. Thank you.
Powerful stuff, Maria, as always there, that one. It's certainly, Peterloo is it's just frankly a shocking tale to read up on, so brilliant stuff. Thank you again, Maria, as always. Okay, slight change in tone. Next now, this gentleman, I've got a podcast out in a couple of weeks' time, and he's grateful. He's the co-host of OB Hive, and we've got Clive on later on as well. So it's a pleasure to have Nick Lovell with us tonight. And this is Nick's first time at Speakeasy, and I'm looking forward to this. Over to you, Nick.
Hey, thanks, Andy. That's hell of a build-up we've got to try and match up to now. So, right, this first one I wrote a couple of years back, but events over the last month made me revisit it, and I thought I'd throw it out tonight. It's called Heartbreak. I should have listened to your warnings, the soft hints, your gentle way of informing me that you were unhappy with the way I treated you. But what could I do? I was so busy with work, with the family, trying to juggle it all. I just couldn't manage. So now Now I lie here, my chest torn apart, surgeon's hands trying to repair the terrible damage I did. And I know I really should have listened to you, my heart. Thank you. And this next one, I'm afraid some of you may have heard it, but I always like to perform it when I go to somewhere new. And again, it's got a certain poignancy given the last couple of weeks. It's called The Race of His Life. Ladies and gentlemen, there's 1 minute's betting remaining until the race of his life. The hare is running, the hare's approaching the traps, and snap, the hare is caught in a trap, just like Elvis Presley. Now, back to the race. And they're off. It's Bewildered Nick making all the running as they head towards the first bend of many. This youngster is making ground against potty training, preschool, infancy, and an introduction to the basics of capitalism through playground economics. A little bumping from masturbation, self-loathing and puberty as they go through the second bend, but it's Bewildered Nick, still tight on the rails. They head on to the back straight, leading by a length from immaturity with insecurity, bad decisions, unemployment and an unsuitable girlfriend all gaining on him. Bewildered Nick still leading by some good head from a girl he met in a nightclub and a kicking from her boyfriend half an hour later, closely followed by sympathy, a series of dates, cohabitation and an unexpected wedding.
This is the...
As they go into the third bend, it's Bewildered Nick losing ground now to 2 kids, a mortgage, depression, dissatisfaction with his job and a nagging fear of failure. But it's Bewildered Nick leading by neck from redundancy with midlife crisis making a move and depression still in and out of the pack as they go into the fourth and final bend. Middle-aged falling away to be passed by, you're an old bastard now. Nostalgia, confusion and minor regrets also coming into running as they race down the home straight towards the finish. It's Bewildered Nick from grandchildren with not enough exercise, too many fags and both your parents died from cancer, you fucking idiot, as they race towards the line. Retirement, boredom and longing for release now fighting for position with mild incontinence and unusual smells. But Bewildered Nick still clinging on to the lead with death close behind as they race the last couple of metres towards the line. It's Bewildered Nick from death, Bewildered Nick from death and Bewildered Nick and death neck and neck as they cross the line for a photo finish. A photo finish there between Bewildered Nick and death. And we have the result of the photo, ladies and gentlemen. The winner is Death. Death wins by 1 length. Death.
Oh no.
Nick, unfortunately, I muted you and everything, mate. Sorry about that, mate. Give us that part off again. Sorry.
I was going to say, if I take it back to, where were we? Did we get as far as the photo finish?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Just before that, mate.
Okay, so it's Bewildered Nick still clinging on to lead with death close behind as they race the last couple of metres towards the line. It's Bewildered Nick from death, Bewildered Nick from death, and Bewildered Nick and death neck and neck as they cross the line for a photo finish. A photo finish there between Bewildered Nick and death. And we have the result of the photo finish. The winner is Death. Death wins by 1 length. Death always wins by exactly 1 length. Thank you. And that's me, folks.
Excellent. Sorry about that, Nick.
No
we had
worries
some
at all,
background
mate.
noise and I was trying to knock out the background noise. So I knocked you out instead.
I've done it myself and you're sitting there going, oh shit, what do I do now?
Sorry about that, mate.
That's no
Tremendous recovery, mate. I'm glad you're feeling better, mate, anyway, because I know a few people obviously would know that you've not been very well recently, so it's good to see you back, mate.
Yeah, many thanks. And for everyone that's here that sent me thanks and good wishes, it's been amazing. You really, really did help.
Tremendous again. Thanks, Nick. Stay in touch, mate, as always. Okay, moving straight on now. Moving to, I think this next lady's in the Blackburn area, and she made her debut for us last month, and she was tremendous as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, make welcome again, Feona Hadcroft.
Okay, right, I'm going to God, how do I follow that? No, that was tremendous, by the way, Nick. Right, okay. Bit of a shitter when you're covered in glitter, but see it as litter. It's bigger than that. when the light bulb is smashed, broken, gone. Foresight told me wrong, opportunities lost. Memories strong, heard it all before, knowing the score. Under the microscope, looking for hope, but all you do is gloat. Words without meaning, always demeaning, train tracks of thought, overbreeding, never conceding. Don't break that, what you're taught. Respect for those who fought. Be careful when you vote, or all you will do is quote misery, devolution, a sorry state, but evolution, plastic portraits, constitution, choked. I've got to do it all, taking everything to conclusion, rattles round inside, causes much confusion, belly flips, heart pounds, delusion. Don't believe, breathe, opportunity knocks. Nothing to show here, try another filter. My whole world is going off kilter. Chalk on the flag, shocked, blanket distraction, no tears, no words. Screaming itchy confusion, motionless, static, backseat passenger, swiped from the chaos. A moment lapsed into a lifetime spent, limping, catching bounce. Sat, drowned, tar car, man down, stolen time. Given a weapon to kick out with, a chance to jostle in the limelight, feeling fine on the outside, battling addiction on the inside, problem child, running wild. I've got one more, okay. Does it stop the pain of an old-time law, or does it grow, creating sorrow and woe? The curtain closed, it's the end of your show. A conglomerate of memories, mother's screams. I've lost it, I've lost. Broken, no more, repeat nightmare. Not dreams, devoid of stuffing, filled with nothing. Empty, it seems, happiness promised, left on the breeze, finished right down as there comes one last squeeze. Pantomime's over, balance a gun, head to the side. Contaminated deliverance, younger than sun. Click went the trigger. You said it would be fun. They were like super sad poems, but not. I'm quite jolly, really. Thank you.
Excellent stuff, Fiona. Always great having you on as well. So as always again. So didn't you say you've got a show coming up soon or something, haven't you, as well? You sent me a link to it the other night.
I do. I'm about to graduate in an MA in fine art, and it's my show it's next week. Really excited, bit sort of scared, happy that it's going to finish, and what do I do next? But I don't know. Carry on aiming for the art world, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, good luck with the show. If I can't get down there, good luck with it. Okay, definitely. So
that'd be amazing. Yeah, if anybody wants a link to the event, if you live in Preston.
Yes, look a bit far for me to go in person, but definitely. But yeah, I might make it on Zoom. So, but good luck.
I love it.
Okay, moving right on now. Thank you again, Fiona. And okay, we're over to Leeds next, and this lady is another great writer, and I always enjoy hearing her. So, Susan Darlington.
Hi, thank you for having me again. We had some wonderful poems so far, so I hope I can add to that standard. I've got 3 poems for you tonight, all of which have got a vague nature theme. The first one is called What the Tree Said. Toppled last season, roots praying to the sky and the trunk hollowed by sinful winds. She worms into a crawl space warm with decay. Crickets tumble over her shoulders, and Reverend spiders veil her face with white webs for a wedding to which she's had no invitation. She lays still at the altar and listens to the blackness. As her heart slows to ring growth and her breath becomes carbon, she hears the trees' rustled vows, but doesn't know if, wedded, she'll grow into soil or grow wings and finally soar. Thank you. I can't remember if I've read this one here before or not. It's called The Encounter, and it's based on a story which many of you will have read in the paper of the fisherman who claimed that he was swallowed by a whale, which was too good a story not to write a poem about it. So this is called The Encounter. The whale swallowed my mother when she was just a child. She was floating in a raft when everything went black. Calmly counted to 40 before she was spat back out. The encounter improved her swimming. Teachers said she was a natural, and her bedroom walls became lined with trophies. She never ate fish again, swore it would bring bad luck, and she adorned her clothes with tiny silver air bubbles that burst under my cheek when she held me close and told me her life story. I didn't quite believe her, yet every time she had a bath, I pressed my ear to the door and listened to her siren's call. It would lull me to sleep. When I woke, she'd cleaned the seaweed tide mark from the tub. Thank you. This last one is a shameless plug, really. It's featured in my upcoming book, Traumatropic Heart, which, fingers crossed, will be available next month. This one's called Ladybird Winter. I collected wooden pallets for the ladybirds, stacked them next to the rocking chair that stood decaying in the porch's sunspot, and packed them with dry leaves and straw. I waited until my back doubled over. My eyes became opaque blue marbles, and the orange of my hair paled to white, but no ruby beetles appeared in the nest. I searched for them in the corners of the house, emptied out cupboards and looked in the folds of musty linen and still wrapped unworn clothes that were bought for my never-born daughter. But among the memories that had been stored in rusty tins, that flaked dream-saturated paint and that tore at fingers until they spotted red, all I found was a ladybird's dried husk. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Great stuff, Susan, as always. And I was just going to ask you then at the end of it, I remember you telling me you had a collection on the way, so just so people that don't know, just tell people the title of the collection again and where they can get it from, if it comes out next month.
Yeah, it's called Traumatropic Heart, and it's going to be released hopefully next month through Selkirk Station Press.
Good luck with it.
If you just Google that name, you'll find their website, or you can direct message me and pre-order.
Are you doing a launch for it, anything, Susan, or are you not sure yet?
I'm waiting for a publication date, but hopefully, yes, I'll be doing a bit of a launch, and any of you will be welcome along.
Great stuff. Keep us informed. Okay. Tremendous, Susan. Thank you again, as always. Okay, moving a little bit more north now. And this gentleman runs his own night as well. Well, it's a very, very busy night as well. It's Finn Hall. Finn, would you like to tell us all about your night?
Yeah, well, I can tell you that this coming Sunday at my very first live in a pub, like a block from the blue. It's coming up this Sunday. My night is called Like a Block from the Blue. And this Sunday's one is celebrating the first anniversary of running this Sunday night event, which is first Sunday in every month now. It's a really international affair, and those that's been to it, you need the stamina to be at it. It's been done once for 4.5 hours. It's quite a long one at times. But enough about me, apart from to say that I got my money in my bank today from my first paid gig ever. A whole 15 quid, not to be sneezed at, like. That was last week. Right, I've got to do 3 poems for you tonight, none of which are in my book, which is called Once Upon a Time There Was. Now there isn't. These are all fairly new stuff. The first one I got to do, I did last week. So I think Kath was there, so someone else, I don't know if anyone else has heard it. And it's called You Thought You Knew. You told me you were aware of all the dark corners, but I saw you lurking, skulking in the undergrowth, thinking that no one knew where you were. But sometimes there are sunny spots for shady people, people whose only purpose, it seems, is to cast shadows. But stop. What day is this? Wednesday, you say? It is but just another day. Another day for hiding away, escaping those who wish you ill. And yet, still, you make out that all is well. But how deep is that well in which you hide, inside or outside? It matters not. You can't recant the clouds, nor hide in shrouds, pretend unbowed, silent or aloud. When friends and friends of friends know all is not well. Pray tell, when did you last reach out? No, don't ever be afraid to ask. If not that person, then another. The world isn't full of the selfish and the ignorant, although it may seem it is. You should never let the haters get their way, or they will try and have their say, saying this, saying that, making you feel energetically compromised, feeling beat to death. But death is never far away. We don't know how, we don't know where or when, or even why. Alone, or with a friend, one who's stuck until the bitter end. But far is just a concept, as is time, and when your time is up, when your time has come, when the reaper reaps, there's time for endless sleep. Let it be at least in peace. So, within the time that we have left, please stop feeling bereft. That is what the bullies want. To taunt you to an early grave, just look them in the eye, ignore them and walk on by, and knowing that you have friends out there. We are the ones that really care. This next two are, they're not long, and they're new shit, basically. And this one was written this morning. And my daughter put a meme or something on Facebook page, and it contained a line, which the title of this piece is, and it's called Exhausted by Strength. Don't be afraid of anything, to try new things. I wouldn't stand on a thin ledge, high, so high above the ground, not afraid to do it, just have no interest in doing it, not afraid. I don't want to jump out of a plane using a parachute just because my dad did it, not afraid, just not interested. But if there is something new to challenge me, something interesting, I would maybe try. But I have to be interested, not afraid. Being brave is not of interested. Being not afraid is the challenge. Don't call me strong, that is so wrong. Don't call me brave either. I am not strong. I am just me trying to be the best I can be, not striving for perfection or the reflection of what is expected of me. And if you don't like what you see, don't blame me. Blame your own hypocrisy. It can be tiring to try to live up to the expectations that you give, but I won't be so glib to go along with that. Instead, I will be not afraid. And finally, this one I wrote for Rhoda and Tim's Poet Riot gig last night from Wales. And this one's called Girl Missing. I knew a girl. This girl I knew, always looked up, never looked down, kept her eye on the horizon, looking around. plenty of injustices to be found. Took up a pen instead of a sword. Writing poetry is never absurd. Walked to the beach, walked along the shore, walked to the park, walked on some more. Walked with some friends and then walked round the bend. Walked into a roadblock set up by the cops, tried to stop them walking, kettled them well, then wondered why the girl started creating Mary Hell. All she wanted was to see justice for all. The right to be walking, the right to stay alive, the right for equality, the right to survive. The girl held a placard along with her friends. The law called them weapons, the right to apprehend. Scuffles then broke out as they tried to protest, putting the patient's right to the test. No stones were thrown, no one attacked, and yet the coppers kept pushing back, and backward with nowhere to go. Brutal force used, extreme and unneeded, stumbling and falling, heads busting, bleeding, crying and shouting, leave us alone, fascists go home. Further and further they push, harder and harder we resist, tumbling, stumbling, crumbling, pushing. Stop. If we ever get out of here, we will come back stronger. Fight for longer, fight, fight, fight. Thank you.
Wonderful, Finn, as always, mate. Wonderful stuff, mate. So now, obviously, just so people know again about your book, what's the name of the book again, just so people know?
It's called Once Upon a Time There Was and Now There Isn't. And it generally follows the same kind of theme as most of the stuff I do. My wife gave it, it's possibly, but there's some good reviews in the back of it, but my wife opened it and gave it the best review, I think, ever. She read a few bits of it. This is fucking depressing, she says, which is
never, Finn.
Yeah, and
never,
it's available for me. I'll put the PayPal thing in the chat just now, so you can do everything through that.
Brilliant. Okay, one quick thing before we move on, Finn, obviously, is how are you going on with Joined Up Writing Volume 3?
Joined Up Writing, yeah. This is another one of my ongoing projects. We're into doing book 3 of it now, which I've smart-assly called 3 Fall. And it's basically started off about 18 months ago where I wrote a line and then I wrote a verse and then a friend of mine wrote the next verse, taking one word from the last line and adding it in their first line. And it's still going on just now with people following the same contact. So it's basically one long poem and it's split over a few books. Joined Up Writing. And if anybody wants to participate in it, that's fine. Give it a shout. I've got a list just now of about 80 people, which is wonderful for this 3rd book. And it's funny how without people knowing the full verse of what was before, the whole thing just seems to work as one poem. It just flows and flows and flows to any different subjects, you know. Thank you.
Fantastic, Finn. Thank you again, mate. So look forward to seeing you, definitely from your block night coming up soon as well. Who knows, maybe in person someday as well. So. Okay, moving on now. Okay, now one of the things I always like about doing Speakeasy is when people give me recommendations and say, oh yeah, you've got to bring this lady on. And this is Clive Oseman who's done this one. And thank you for this, Clive. I've always appreciated, mate. And he's got a young lady with us today. Now, I've not seen Read yet. So it's the first time for me. And I made a complete mess of a name already. I'm going to do it again in a minute as well. But, okay, you're going to pronounce your name again. Amelia, is it?
It's Elmien.
Elmien. I'll get it wrong again next time I speak to you as well. But okay, Elmien.
Yeah, a very easy way to remember. It's like Idi Amin, but nicer. Elmien.
Okay. Over to you then, okay?
Brilliant. Thanks so much for having me here. And thanks, Clive, for putting me in touch with this wonderful night. Wow, it's awesome. Really enjoyed your poems. Right, I'm going to read 2 short poems and then which I've read before, and then a longer one, which is new. So I'm looking forward to it. Love in a sanatorium. Aged bodies, broken hearts, scarred, stumped. At awkward angles, we meet and bleed together, and bump our broken limbs against each other's wounds. Number 2 is gravity. Oh, thank you. I should pause. Thank you. Gravity. Gravity, oh gravity, without your graceful pull, where would our limpid lakes, reflecting rivers in the evening glow, go? Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Right, now for the longer poem. Library. Down the postbox red painted steps, sandals clickety-clack, the subtropical sun fading from view. I enter and my eyes adjust, seeing silhouettes, dark polished wood shaped into small wooden stools that sound hollow as they scrape across the Swiss parquet floor. My feet come to rest. Shifting sideways, my fingers trail along the spines, looking for the thickest books I can find to last me until next time. 2 whole weeks, 14 interminable days until I may return. My library card and magic key. Cicadas sing outside, but here the heat is a memory. In the dark mystery of the basement library, I discover Doctor Who, the puzzle of an inside-out world that never made sense, not even in the end. And sad stories, Beeldje nummer 4, statue number 4, about the Siamese statuette and the girl who went blind, her sense of loss now mine. The library is gone, a sweet shop now in its place. Sweets for me now also, my fort against the everyday, the minor bird realities of my noisy life, when what I really seek is a more sustaining sort of a book, for comfort, as I remain, like silly old Pooh, stuck in the rabbit hole of remembering, waiting for my waistline to subside. Oh.
Excellent. I love that. I love the end of that there, where you're talking about the library turns into a sweet shop, and it's almost like a different kind of guilty pleasure. Oh, really, really evocative. If people want to find out, have you got any of your work blogged online or printed anywhere for people to read?
I do. Goodness, now there's a. I'm going to go. I'll put it in the chat when I remember.
Yeah, if you can.
Online space where I've got a few of my poems up. So yeah, thank you.
Tremendous stuff. No, it's been a pleasure having you on tonight. So, and thank you, Clive, for recommending you as well, because I've really, really enjoyed that. I think you enjoyed that as well, man, didn't you? What I loved about that was the first 2 poems were really short, concise pieces. Then the longer one, it's good writing, really, in the fact of you can do short pieces and the longer ones as well. So excellent. Thank you again.
Okay.
Okay, moving right on now. 2 more people to go. We're over next to what's Steve, who's our host in the live speakeasy, recently described his next gentleman as Mr. Speakeasy himself, and I think it made him blush completely. But next gentleman is a tremendous poet. He's a tremendous guy as well, and he's been going speakeasy nearly as long as I have. So, and it's Mike Booth.
Thank you, Andy. You're far too kind. I've got to say, I feel humbled by the quality of writing here. These are some people I've not heard before, and it's been a fantastic night. So thank you, everyone. And I've just got a couple of silly ones, really, and a slightly more serious one. So here we go. First one is a tribute to one of my heroes from lockdown. When I was in the first lockdown, one of the things that kept me going was a bit of a workout every morning. And I just thought I'd read this one last time before he fades into obscurity or millionairedom, whichever it is. And it's called Kicks with Joe. It's a bit of a parody you might spot. My story is much too sad to be told. In lockdown, everything's leaving me cold. The only exception is plain to see. Each morning after I've been for a pee and made my first cup of tea, when blurrily I switch on and see his healthy body, I get no kicks from champagne. My tonic and gin can't help me begin to feel like I'm gonna get through. But I get my kicks from Joe Wicks. Some get their kicks from Netflix. That gets me so far, slobbing on my sofa with nothing important to do. Yes, I get my kicks from Joe Wicks every time I see him. Lost it. Stoned and slim at 9 each day. He gives me hope, though I have to say I ain't no pope, and sadly I'm not gay. His hair is all tousled and brown. Sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down in lycra or shorts, but never a frown. As he stretches and bends, reading shouts from his friends. Some get their kicks from Facebook, but I wouldn't give it a second look or wish I could go out to play if Joe Wicks was jumping all day. Sometimes I'm tired and feel slow. Getting up is all I can do. Feel lethargic and blue, no energy and nothing to say. That's when I go live streaming with Joe. And it's then that I know it's all gonna be okay. 'Cause I get my kicks on my boxes he ticks. Yes, I get my kicks from Joe Wicks. Thank you. Right, second one, slightly more serious. I can't see anybody because I've got the whole screen covered by my poem, which is probably a great relief with that embarrassing song. This is another familiar poem, which I changed about 4 years ago. This is an old one, and it's called An Iffy Poem. You might recognize the original. If you can write and not make rhyme your master, if you can feel and let those feelings flow, if you can think and find a simple structure which builds your thoughts of love, then let's it go. If you can find a telling rhyme or meter which fits with all your thoughts and feelings too, and choose the words which truly carry deeper your readers' hearts and makes them see the world in you, if you can find a simile which lightens as if you shone a torch upon this life, which takes us out and low mood heightens like through some frozen butter cuts the knife. Can you still hear me? I've got internet unstable on the screen. A metaphor can hold a world of darkness, invisible but present, living, breathing air. We gasp and pant, feeling all our smallness in worlds of trouble, holding struggles there. Bang the listener with some onomatopoeia, enjambment flows, two streams slide together, end stopping helps the sense to stop here. Tizura holds you, gives your words a tether. Symbols can't be beaten, carry power. Analogies can pierce a heart with spear. Ironic tone can make you sound quite sour, but pathos moves you, squeezes out a tear. But if you can write an ode to read 1 minute, where webs of meaning with the reader spun, you'll see a poem with great meaning in it. And what is more, you'll be a poet, my son or daughter. Thank you. And squeezing in a final one, silly one this, just about the messages in life that are invisible until you start noticing them, and then you realize they're all over the place. And it's called Words of Wisdom, just recently finished. That's for you, Reggie. Life was tough, life was grey. On my journey, lost my way. So I searched the everyday words to help me, come what may. In my fridge, I found some drink, which really gave me cause to think. Keep cool, it said. Also, chill. I thought, that fits the bill. In bath and shower, more I found. Wash separately in laundry mound. Aha, I thought, well, I'll be bound. That advice was clear and sound. And on my shelf of pills and stuff, it said in letters clear enough, keep away from children. Tough. My kids walked off in quite a huff. And as I walked upon my feet, lots more advice I there did meet. Keep clear, look right, and crossing streets, stop children. Words both blunt and neat. So now I know the secret code to help me bear life's heavy load. Beneath my nose, in house, on road, these words of wisdom smoothly flow. All this advice I heed quite often. My aim in life I now have gotten. But deodorant advice seemed quite rotten. Lift up top, push up bottom. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent as always, Mike. I don't need to add much to that, mate. You know I'm a big fan of your work, mate. So tremendous as always, mate.
Sorry to interrupt, but Mike is a very humble guy, so I like to promote his book as well, since everybody's doing their stuff. So this is his book. Available on Amazon.
Have you read that book, Reggie?
So this
Reggie,
is
that
like
book looks suspiciously unused. You haven't read it, have you, mate?
Yeah. I just got a copy from you. This is the book that I looked up.
If only I had a book.
Oh, thank you, Reggie, for the excellent cameo there, mate. And excellent stuff, Mike. Okay. Okay. Tremendous as always, mate. So I hope to see you in person again soon, mate. Definitely as well. Okay, guys and girls. We're on to the... I hate using that word headline act because he is a headline act and more than a few nights I've seen recently. But he's also a host of a very, very funny night called OP Hive with Nick. I was obviously on before. And he was hinting before, I don't know whether this is his plan tonight, he may be introducing a new character with us tonight. I don't know yet. So anyway, certainly we have Clive Oseman with us today. Over to you, Clive. Surprise me, mate.
Yeah, after our introduction, I probably am going to surprise you with a load of rubbish, to be honest. But yeah, one thing to say about this piece I'm going to do, it's sort of new in the second half of it was written very early in lockdown, like last year. And the second half of it, which is actually the first half of it, if you know what I mean, it's the first bit performed, was written this morning. So here we go.
Oh, my name is Brian Blessed. I don't know what happened. I went to bed with my famed booming voice and woke up sounding like I'd had some sort of accident with my bollocks. Which I hadn't, of course. Oh no, not at all. So, okay, I've got a high-pitched voice. And let me tell you, my bollocks, the very alliterative bollocks of Brian Blessed, would have to be fucking enormous for my voice to change so dramatically because an experiment went wrong. And I'm not discussing the scale of my testicles. Not that I had an accident or anything. I'm just saying. Stop looking at me like that. I don't know why you are obsessing about bollocks anyway. Half of you haven't got any, and the other half should be advised not to put them anywhere near a food mixer. Not that I did that, obviously. I'm famous enough for it to get in the papers if I did. Anyway, the nurses said if I had mangled them, my voice will return, would return to normal fairly soon. In the meantime, I have a Shakespeare parody I need to read. I hope the bastards still pay me. This is Shakespeare's greatest hits as performed by someone on Zoom with low bandwidth and transcribed by someone who had never heard or read any Shakespeare. It's called Shakespeare in the Age of Doom and Zoom. All the world's a plague, and all the 5G masts are COVID spreaders. We wear our masks and social distance, and those so inclined saith their prayers. But should we cough or sneeze or such, we attract such hateful, anxious glares. The suspicion all becomes too much. In a web of fear, we are ensnared. The holiday in Jersey is not strange. 'Tis relatively COVID-free. I much prefer to go to Spain, but verily fuck that quarantine. If you must holiday in England, go to the coast, don't stay inland. With grimy cities, and forsooth its towns, like shitty Warwick, bringeth frowns. Alas, poor Warwick, its sewers smell, so putrid as to make one heave. Within 5 miles I feel unwell, and the locals beg to take their leave. Anne Hathaway once travelled that way to meet a man with feigned virility. But his breath smelt of shit and he wore a toupee, so she ended up with me. Wow is the winter in our discount tent purchased in the Argus sale. It was flimsy and weak, just upped and went, leaving us bare in a howling gale. Shylock wanted his pound of flesh. Antonio went pale. Bassanio stole a beautiful Porsche, but the pigs let him out on bail. All your sisters have got old, and so have you, you pribbling, weather-bitten haggard. You think you look youthful, but truth be told, your flesh, it teems with maggots. Now, I'll try to keep this bit brief, because it's all it doth befit. And after all, 'tis my belief that brevity is the holy shit. Have not I blue eyes? Have not I blue hands and blue organs? Fucking hell. Call an apothecary.
Thank you very much. And that was the poem with the most original title of the night, because it's called Brian Blessed with Mangled Bollocks. Thank you very much.
I don't even know how to answer that, Clive, so that's all I'm going to say, mate. Amanda, would you like to answer that? No, you left Amanda speak to us as well, so what tremendous, mate. I think I agree with what Caffey said on the comments here. Brilliantly bonkers. And there's I'm just seeing another comment, and what was it? Alvin and the Chipmunks. Who said that, man? It went that quick then. Okay, yeah, Mike said, yeah, Alvin and the Chipmunks sponsored this, definitely. So, well, anyway, guys and girls, that's it for tonight. I want to thank everybody that's been here tonight. It's been a tremendous night. I'm not into all that, not mean stuff, because it really has been a tremendous night. Been 16 tremendous writers here tonight. We're proud of all yourselves tonight. So give yourself a round of applause. It's where everyone...
Thanks for the invite, for everyone for making welcome.
There's the next one of these, we'll have a married couple there, yeah. Andy and
yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, we're back in October for this anyway, so we're just taking September off because we'll be on a honeymoon, unfortunately, with this next one to do. So, but thank you again, everybody. Stay safe. Stay sane.
Good night. Really enjoyed it.
Good night, all. Proud of yourselves.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Lovely to see you all.
Bye.